Today's devotional is the scary side of generosity, and it acknowledges that generosity always feels risky. But faith teaches us to trust God with our giving. Let's turn again to Mark chapter 14 and verses 1 to 11. Jesus anointed at Bethany. It was now 2 days before Passover and the festival of unleavened bread. The leading priests and the teachers of religious law were still looking for an opportunity to capture Jesus secretly and kill him. But not during the Passover celebration, they agreed, or the people may riot. Meanwhile, Jesus was in Bethany at the home of Simon, a man who had previously had leprosy. While he was eating, a woman came in with a beautiful alabaster jar of expensive perfume made from essence of nard. She broke open the jar and poured the perfume over his head. Some of those at the table were indignant. Why waste such expensive perfume, they asked. It could have been sold for a year's wages and the money given to the poor. So they scolded her harshly. But Jesus replied, "Leave her alone. Why criticize her for doing such a good thing to me? You will always have the poor among you, and you can help them whenever you want to, but you will not always have me. She has done what she could and has anointed my body for burial ahead of time. I tell you the truth, wherever the good news is preached throughout the world, this woman's deed will be remembered and discussed." Then Judas Iscariot, one of the 12 disciples, went to the leading priests to arrange to betray Jesus to them. They were delighted when they heard he had come, and they promised to give him money. So he began looking for an opportunity to betray Jesus. When a farmer stands with a handful of seed, he knows that to reap a harvest, he must let go of the seed and plant it into the ground. If he holds on to it, fearing there won't be enough, he gains nothing. Planting always feels risky. It's giving away something tangible for an unseen future. Yet only by sowing generously does the farmer receive a bountiful harvest. I wonder if you have ever hesitated to give because you worry that you might not have enough. Maybe you wanted to be generous, but fear crept in. You ended up thinking, what if I need this later? The people at the table with Jesus seemed to think this way when they questioned the woman's extravagant gift. Jesus' response is powerful. He doesn't say that helping the poor isn't important. Far from it. But he does show that there are moments when faith calls us to act, to give, to love without reservation. Generosity will always feel risky because it requires trust. But when we give for Jesus, we are never losing. We are investing in something eternal. If generosity feels scary, take a step of faith today. Maybe it's giving financially, even when the budget is tight. Maybe it's investing time in someone, even when you feel stretched thin. Maybe it's offering kindness when you don't know how it will be received. Trust that when you give, God will provide. Lord, help me to trust you more than my fears. Teach me that generosity is not about losing, but about loving. When you call me to give, let me do so joyfully, knowing you are my provider. Amen. And today's reflection question for you to think about is, what is one area where God may be calling you to be generous today? I hope to see you back here tomorrow for another Battle Drill Daily Devotional, as we ask ourselves what we're willing to lose.